Good morning, boys and girls, again and again, and maybe again, I don't remember. I think this is 3 or 4 for the day, but nonetheless. So, the last video I posted was, I showed you the new project because the water tanks, we're going to have to do bladders in those because they're blistered and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I showed you my new project for the day. Yeah, watch where this one went. Never saw this coming. So this was the floor and the wood that was all rotted out. So I pulled it all up except for that little piece and this cubby hole because I got to carefully take that apart because there's a water line in there. And I got 2 pumps down there. Now, this big turd, I'm leaving it for the moment. So that's a floor, a fake floor. I haven't looked under there yet to see if that's open. If it is, I'm honestly thinking about leaving it and just cutting this baffle wall out because there's another one right here. So I'm gonna end up cutting that one out too. Let me back up on that. I'm gonna have to rethink this because this is all becoming a structural thing. So I'm gonna have to think about this before I do it. Nonetheless, I pulled that floor up and there was a floor here. This is the tabbing for it, where it's tabbed into this. So long story short, there was plywood on top of this with carpet and there was a cubby hole right here. And so I pulled the floor up and then I started cutting into the floor here and yeah, look what I find. This whole front hull is full of water. Geez, I wonder why my hull is sitting crooked or why the boat's sitting crooked to this side. Maybe because I've got another 400 or 500 pounds of water sitting here. There's none up there because we looked at that earlier. Remember, I crawled in there. But yeah, so I've got to get my pump back out and pump all this out. And then I've got to look up in there to see where this goes to, if there's another wall. And if there is another wall, then I may have to... I'm thinking, give me a second. If there's a wall there, well, there would be a wall there because that tips up and goes into the center section. So there's a wall there and it tips up again and then it goes up into the nose. So we're going to leave this alone for the moment. That wall is going to come out. I can tell you that right now, and I'm going to tell you why. Because what I'm going to ultimately do, let me peek my head up out this hatchway here. Yeah, see, there's nothing in front of it, and it goes into the nose. So what I may do right here, and this is going to sound really, really stupid, depending on what's up here in the floor or in the roof of the deck, I may make a watertight bulkhead right here, but I'm gonna tip it at an angle so that I give my more sub, because if you're gonna hit something, you're gonna hit it on the hull. So I may tip it, start it at the back a little more, and then tip it forward at an angle, and then put a watertight door in it. And what I'll probably do is, I'm a nerd in ways. Well, no, that wouldn't matter. Never mind. I was going to say I was going to make it watertight to where I could pressurize it, push the water out, but depending on how bad the hull is, it's really not going to matter. I'd have to have a massive amount of air to be pushing into there in order to push the water out and keep it out. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to put a watertight bulkhead right there, but this water's got to come out, and then I'll start deconstructing this turd and get it out of here. And once I get it out of here, then I can start scrubbing the hull and designing internal pontoon supports so that I may just put short supports but put plywood archways in here. I'll double them, and then I'll fiberglass them so that the hull still has some sort of rigidity inside of it or something to support the inside of it. Anywho, I just wanted to show you all that because this is, yeah, and I'm leaning against one. So there's the other one. And this is the center, where the center section comes up. So yeah, anywho, and I showed you that earlier. I think, okay, so we're gonna cut part of this out, probably from about here-ish forward. Yeah, so somewhere in this area, maybe a little further back in here, depending on how solid the wood is, cut it forward, and I'll put another door in there. I do like these. I wish I knew where to get these because I really do like those. I'm gonna have to see if I can find a name on that watch. So I really do like those. They're all over the boat. Anywho, I think I'm gonna leave that. I really like that. I don't know how deep those are, but I'm gonna look at it a little bit more thoroughly here in a minute. Yeah, most of this is coming out. This is coming. Oh, wait a minute. That's bulkhead. That one probably won't come out, but I can say this. What I probably will do is I'll take measurements of this. Let me back up so you get a better picture. What I may do, I don't want to do that. I may take measurements of this whole thing, and then what I'll do is I'll take 1-inch plywood, and then they put another 1/2-inch plywood to the back of it, and I'll drill it, dowel it in numerous places, and then I'll fiberglass it and cut this arch. I'll cut this arch so it comes further up, so that I have headroom in here, and being thicker than what that one originally is, it'll still give the deck really good support, and it'll still provide part of my it'll still blend in with my my front bulkhead, because if I cut this out, I can tab into it and then put the new piece up and then put the door in it, so I can blend the whole new piece into that front head, and I'll tab it real wide because I'm going to completely strip that front wall and find if there's any weak spots in it, and I'm going to refiberglass it and re-epoxy it. All these hulls are getting recovered in epoxy, so I'm going to try to sand them and strip them the best I can as I'm doing this. I'm not doing a half-assed. It ain't going to happen. So if you have any suggestions, please do not hesitate to leave me a suggestion. I think I'm a pretty knowledgeable person when it comes to fabricating stuff, but in the marine world, this is all new to me for the most part. The only knowledge I have of the marine world is what I've seen in the past 7 years on YouTube of people like Parlay Revival redoing his boat, and Billy and Sierra redoing their boat, and several other people restoring hurricane damaged boats. So that's the knowledge that I have when it comes to marine stuff. But I'm gonna be honest with you, they have provided me with just an amazing amount of knowledge, and this I may have bitten off a little more than I wanted to chew at the moment. Anywho, this is all a learning experience, and I'm looking forward to the whole adventure. This is a temporary thing for the moment, because once I get the engines and the sail drives and my standing rigging looked at and taken care of, I'll be on the water. I can do a lot of this while I'm on the water. Granted, I'll have to spread out my construction supplies because I don't want to weight all everything on one side of the boat. But yeah, I can do a lot of this while I'm on the water and enjoying it. So anyway, let me go get a pump this out because it's really bothering me, and this way I can inspect this, and I will get back with y'all on something. Who knows where we'll be in this adventure at that point. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will chat at you later. Bye.